Yeah, guys, one more Wildberries is on fire. This happened in Leningrad Oblast, Russian Federation. This is called Krasny Bor Wildberry storage, and it is gone completely. Close-up perspective. Wildberries is no more. Today is 15th warehouse that was hit by Ukrainian drones.
15 склад.
This guy is famous already in internet, not just in the Russian one, by the way. He complains every time, so every morning he records the video. Well, I would say he's less emotional. Before he was like screaming, crying, 7th warehouse hit, oh, and he has lots of the goods there. He is one of the main entrepreneurs of Wildberries. He is Russian, but he lives in China and sells all of the Chinese goods via Wildberries. But now his business is gradually collapsing.
With Wildberries.
He couldn't believe, even some time ago, that Wildberries is going to be on fire. Well, it's nothing personal, just a special military operation strikes on Russian economy, basically. Also in Moscow region there was an attempt to hit the local Wildberry storage in Chekhov. Well, the strike itself was precise, but it didn't cause the huge fire of this facility. Yeah, the bingo board for Wildberries is already huge. Well, initially it was like 20 the biggest warehouses of Wildberries, but they have many. So more of the smaller warehouses are put here. Well, in Ukraine there is nothing similar to this scale of the square meters of storages. It's not possible, basically. And Wildberries is looking for alternatives in Kazakhstan. They want to build several of the warehouses, but again, it might just compensate the loss of the single electrostall, because they're saying about 25,000 square meters. But what about the rest? What about the transition? What about the transferring of the goods, storing them somewhere? This model is not possible, so it means that Wildberries will be no more. My friends, a very important notice for the channel: please press your like to this video just right now while you're watching it, and also subscribe to the channel. It really helps a lot. We're on a way to reach 1 million subscribers because of your kind help. Plus, my friends, if you can, you may support this channel on Patreon. The link for it is in the video description right below, or join YouTube membership by pressing button join. Thank you for making this content possible. Let's continue with the video. And you know, yesterday there was a beach accident in Gelendzhik. Ukrainian drone was shot down by the Russian air defense and went straight forward to those people. I watched the video. Definitely the drone was shot down by the automatic rifles. So Ukrainian drones never dive down with this huge bank. They just go and dive with wings leveled, because with this bank it's hard to maintain the trajectory. So for sure it was shut down, and it went just to the beach. Yep, that's the mighty Russian air defense that works over people. The most stupid thing ever, but Russians don't care, it seems like. And of course there were some of the losses. This is Odessa, southern part of Ukraine, big city. Russia continued to strike it. So Odessa is here, and not long time ago Russia tried to eliminate the Zatoka bridge. It's over here. It's the railway and road bridge. It is very important. It connects this Izmail part of Ukraine with the rest of Ukraine, and the alternate variant how to get there is just through Moldova. So-called Palanka Road that goes through Moldovan territory. All because of this big water obstacle, we call it Leyman. But according to the latest information, also shared by the Russian channels, the bridge is still functioning as the railroad, so cars cannot go, but supplies could be delivered, which is good. By the way, Russia tries to eliminate this bridge with aviation gliding bomb strikes for a very, very long time, but their strikes are not that precise. And the bridge construction itself is kind of robust and also fast repairable. Yeah, there was the Russian VDV Day, VDV, Воздушно-десантные войска, so paratroopers or the airborne army of the Russian Federation, and they made this show off for the people that they attack, they jump, they shoot, yeah, quite successfully, sometimes. Yeah, this Russian paratrooper celebrated quite well, mission accomplished. This is the Russian safari in Kherson, you see, this guy is selling some of the products. I'm gonna lower my image. And they hunt the guy, just like that, you see. This is a civilian person, not military, absolutely. It seems like this is the fiber optic control drone, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I cannot show you the rest of the video, but somehow this guy survived the strike. Here he is, the drone went very close and it damaged the car, but he's okay. I mean, he's not completely okay, his back is being shrapnelled, but his organs are fine and it's a pure luck that he is alive. And it's the known fact that in Kherson, Russians just train their drone operators, they hunt civilians. Sometimes even kids, women, elderly people, they don't really care. The most barbarian army in the world is the Russian one. And before they have occupied Kherson, so according to their logic, those are not Ukrainians, those are Russians, and Kherson is their city, and they continue to unalive people just like that for training purposes or something. Alright, this morning Zelensky met with Alexander Poklad, who is the chief of the Ukrainian SBU, and they were looking for the possible scenarios of how to expand the strikes on the Russian territory, how to deliver the special military operation back to Russia. And in this case, we should expect some of the more kabooms happening in Russia, especially when Ukraine has more and more tools for that. I'm speaking about probably ballistic missiles. And there was an interview of the Firepoint CEO today to TMZ Media. They were saying about the development of ballistics and also upgrade of FP5 Flamingo. For example, Firepoint wants to install a new engine. It seems like Ukraine is in lack of those standard Soviet-made engines, and they're required to produce something new, but again, the jet engine production is kind of expensive. The company is assembling first 10 prototype engines, aims to complete testing by the end of the year. The serial production is possible the next year. And about ballistics, they say that also there is the upgrade of the Ukrainian Sapsan system. Sapsan or Thunder 2 is the analog of the Russian Iskander, but it has more capable missiles, potentially. The problem that Ukraine has produced just 2 of those. Well, there are some rumors that maybe in May 2025 some of the Russian military base was hit. It is located 300 kilometers away from Ukraine, but we don't have the proof of this information. So it seems like Ukraine is working on several of the ballistic missiles projects in parallel, which is great. The Firepoint company is of course okay, but this system was developed for a very long time, and I think it has potentially more perspectives, but at the same time it could be more expensive to build those Thunder 2 or Sapsan systems. Preston Stewart shares the information that ATACMS and PRSM added to the list of the shortages. There's the article from Reuters that the United States has used virtually all of its long-range precision missiles during Iran war. So the stockpiles are being depleted and Ukraine has no other way than to produce its own missiles. I guess there will be no help from the United States of America, absolutely, because they require those missiles themselves. And also they need to protect their allies and their military bases in the Middle East. So the war in Iran is kind of reckless, it wasn't planned. They went all in, not expecting that Iran might retaliate with drones and ballistic missiles. But before Ukraine proposed the cooperation in drone technologies, also drone interceptors, and everything of that was declined. And after Iran started to retaliate massively, allies of the United States in the region and the United States themselves, they launched those Patriot missiles to shut down very cheap drones. Sometimes 3 missiles, each costs like $3, sometimes $4 million, depends. 2 or 3 of those were used against a very cheap target. It is not working like that, because the more expensive the system, the longer it takes to produce it. Plus, it's a very huge bargain for the military budget, and even for the United States, it's too much. So unfortunately, this winter, Ukraine will stay out of protection. There will be no PAC-3 missiles, and it's going to be very difficult. The most terrible winter for Ukraine is upcoming. Also, the lack of the precise munition in the United States stockpiles may create perfect conditions for Putin to expand the special military operation to some of the other states, other countries, and for China to start its own special Taiwan operation, because United States is the main force to protect its allies in multiple of the regions. But apparently there should be some of the tools to protect those allies with. And of course there should be first of all political will, which Donald Trump is in lack of. So I would say it's the perfect storm conditions for the wars to become more and more wider, massive. The next couple of years could be very interesting because Xi and Putin, they understand that they have this window for action, because the next United States president and Congress could be very different. Yeah, this guy is just hilarious. Trump is giving Tehran what he calls a final diplomatic window before a possible military escalation. With what, Donald Trump? Would you be able to protect your military bases? Yes, yesterday Pentagon signed a contract with developers of the munition to boost the production, but it takes years to restore the stockpiles which are being used just like that, wasted, I would say. As tensions around the Strait of Hormuz continue to rise, Washington is combining negotiations with explicit threat of force. It's the dead end. America is losing this war, and some of the legacy media openly are saying about it, that it is basically a defeat. They cannot open and they cannot control the Strait of Hormuz without the massive full-scale ground landing operation, without the change of Iranian regime, and that requires full mobilization. And of course, TACA will not do it, and Iranians understand it. So for Iran to win, they should not lose. And for them, I would say it's impossible to lose. Because even with the full-scale ground operation, if this madman is so mad to send the forces there, the potential intervention forces will have no chance. The geography plays the great role also. Iran itself, with a great population, I mean, lots of the people live there, 90 million people. And many of them, they don't like the United States of America, so they're motivated to protect their country. So the chances for this operation is 0 or even below 0, unfortunately, because I don't like Iranian regime, but this is the complete mess, let's say, this Epic Fury operation. Day one was more or less okay, except bombing the school, which was confirmed. Hamani was cancelled, and I was like, wow, they're doing something really outstanding. But next, like, nothing. It is even worse than before. Yeah, the United States Army consumed nearly its entire stockpile of long-range PRSAM and ATACMS ballistic missiles in the war on Iran, multiple sources to Reuters report. Sources also report CENTCOM fired nearly half of the global Tomahawk cruise missiles inventory. Oh my god. And where is the freaking visible result? Like, Iran reinsured its control over the strait. That's it, yeah? Nothing more. It reminds me one of the too much self-confident army that decided to attack some of the smaller country, and you know what happened to that one. Here's the same or similar, with way less losses, of course. By the way, about the losses, I'm sure that there are many more in American army. They just don't give us this information, because judging on the numbers of the injured personnel, wounded, the number of the completely KIA soldiers should be way, way greater. Well, they say about 18, and Trump says, just 18 soldiers completed. Who cares, yeah? It's not Baron Trump, it's not Trump Jr., right? Someone's kids, come on. This is the attitude from the orange wannabe dictator of the United States. So when he says, we're gonna dismantle Iran, we're gonna flatline it, we're gonna destroy it completely. With what, Donnie? With what? You don't have any cards, Donnie, you just burned them. Wasted. Yeah, sorry guys for telling you about that stuff with Donnie, but everything is interconnected, you see, because of this foolish operation, which is completely stupid. Ukraine cannot obtain PAC-3 air defense missiles, and Russia could be successful. I mean, with those strikes on Ukraine using ballistics, and they may harm not just power plants, but also they might strike Ukrainian supplies, logistic centers, military bases. So it is all possible this winter and maybe autumn. Hard times. And our State Border Guard Service spokesperson Vyacheslav Demchenko says that Russia is planning an invasion through Chernihiv region. There is an intelligence data about it, and I would say it has been confirmed by Ukrainian preparation, so Ukraine knows something. I monitored the situation with building of the new defense lines. For example, Clement Molin shares this information that near Chernihiv, Ukraine constructs more of the lines, and Chernihiv is very close to Kiev, 135, I think, kilometers through this road. But still, those defense lines, they are uncomparable to the Iron Belt in the eastern Ukraine. So maybe because Russia is facing the dead end in Donbass, they might open the new front line towards Kiev. Or maybe they want to have an attempt to get Chernihiv under control. It is also very close to the border. Well, the good news overall that the Russian refining capabilities drop very low, the lowest volume for the past 20 years, and it is done because of the Ukrainian kinetic sanctions. And yeah, I forgot to say that today Syzerensky refinery was kaputted once again. Ukraine constantly demolishes the most sensitive equipment in those refineries. Fantastic video. This is the Russian Giran 2 or Shahid drone. Was kaboomed right away. Nice. Mirage 2000. Alright guys, it's all for this video, and please support my job if you can on Patreon. The link for it is in the video description right below, or join YouTube membership by pressing button join. Guys, thank you so much for making this content possible, and also don't forget to press like to this video and subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to reach 1 million subscribers, hopefully very soon. Guys, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.